Welcome to She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us again for the live Q&A session here on my channel. We don't need the intro. I don't think I need the intro anymore. I don't think that this guy, whichever way he is on your screen. Oh, I can hear myself. Hold on.
I have you muted, so
Hold on. It's Instagram.
All right.
Be quiet, Instagram. And it's YouTube. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. We're back on track now. Okay. So this guy
Perfect.
over here, depending on whichever way he's formatted for you, is Caesar. The great, yes, the same one. The one we always say no to.
Yeah.
This is the guy. We've been friends for what, since
23.
23?
Yeah.
Feels like
it's been a while.
feels like a lot longer. Caesar is an uber talented voice actor, audiobook narrator, sound engineer. He's the guy that can guess the microphone you're using just by looking at it and hearing it, more or less just hearing it most of the time. Now I'm throwing off my game, but we wanted to talk a little bit about gear and processing today, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Caesar and how he got started and his journey, because it is very interesting. And I wanted you guys to hear Caesar, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, Caesar, at all, but Caesar has one of those voices that needs to be heard, so I'm pushing him out into your faces and your ear holes, so enjoy. But so far, our poll, we got about 15 votes. If you haven't voted yet, throw your vote in. What confuses you most about VO gear and audio? And we have about 15 votes so far. Nobody chose choosing the right mic. I'm surprised about that.
Surprised, yeah.
I know. 20% said audio processing and plugins. 13% said treating my recording space. And 67% said knowing what's good enough. So we're going to touch on those. I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, mom looks. We're going to have some mom looks, I'm sure. But we're going to try to have no Caesar moments. No Caesar moments.
I did promise I was going to behave, and I'm going to do my utmost. I have a filter, apparently. I just got it.
Well, make sure you turn it on, because we do have kids who watch this channel. So we have to behave ourselves here on the YouTubes. So, Caesar, introduce yourself to everyone who doesn't know you and give us a little bit about your background. How did you start voice acting and audiobook narration? How'd that come about for you?
Well, okay, so my name is Caesar Esturco. Most people call me Spicy Caesar because, I don't know, I showed up in Angela's, one of her workshops, and that became my nickname. And where did I start? When I was younger, I had this huge appreciation for things like movies, games, especially games with really good acting. You know, I loved point-and-click adventure games, and I was just enamored with the idea that a voice can bring a character to life. I also had a passing interest in theater. And eventually, I guess once I got into university, people kept pushing me to do stuff that was voice related. It could be like, I don't know, being a radio jockey or something. Interestingly enough, I got invited to do a radio spot for a local I think it was an insurance company. And from there, I received what do you call offers to do like voice and like voices for anime, but that fell by the wayside. Eventually, I'm a guy of multiple interests, and eventually, I think I moved on to doing stuff like web development and advertising. I didn't really do much client facing for a while. I was a very behind the scenes guy, so I completely forgot about the whole voiceover thing for a very, very long time. Until 2010, I was invited by my business partner at the time to become uh, his business partner and also participate in things like client facing. And whenever I'm, you know, interfacing with clients, they would tell me that I should be doing stuff like this, voice acting. Eventually, I quit that job, and I guess I just remembered this could definitely be something I could be doing. Um, and I think I took it a little too seriously because, before, um, I was always pushed to do things that were, I guess, not really voice acting. Find a stable job. You know how it is with a lot of people. Just get a job that provides you money like steady income. But audiobooks was kind of a dream for a while. And when I realized that nobody was stepping in and stopping me from doing my dream, I decided, well, since I just quit my job, why not I just pursue what I really like most? And it was audiobook production. And I was interested in both the audiobook aspect, performance, narration, all that. I was also very interested in the production part. So that leads me to where I am now. And like most people, I started with the most like bottom of the barrel gear. I had a spare bedroom with untreated walls. I had like a lace curtain off to one side. I had a USB microphone with that stupid ISO shield in the back. It was horrible. Um, Embarrassing to think about now, but yeah, eventually I did a few upgrades.
A few. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't feel bad. I started out in my living room on a glass dining room table.
Wow.
Yeah, with a
Wow.
USB mic and my laptop, thinking I was living the dream.
Talk about early reflections. That's going to bounce right off.
I know. I didn't know.
Mm,
I didn't know about Echo or, I don't know about any of that stuff. And none of us do. We just kind of figure it out as we go.
exactly. I did the same thing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand proximity before. I didn't understand sibilance. I got right into the microphone because I thought it made me sound nice and warm and all that. It was just very overwhelming. You wouldn't want to listen to that for more than 3 minutes.
Oh, that's
Maybe two.
debatable.
Okay. But yeah. Oh, wow. So yeah, we did a lot of experimenting when we were starting out, right? And I think that leads to the whole question about how do we know whether something is good enough or not? I think I mentioned to you earlier that I did strive for perfection a lot of times, and I feel great about where I am at now. But I realize that listening back to my old samples or this stuff that I've recorded 2 years ago, and it's actually not bad. And I used to be very harsh towards myself about achieving a certain kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that doesn't happen now. Thank goodness. Um, but one of the things that actually got me to be less critical about my performance really is uh, teaching other people things like sound engineering, or even narration performance, although most of the time it's really just sound engineering, because I think that's what confuses people the most. Ever since the pandemic, people expect to get two for the price of one. They expect a sound engineer and an audiobook narrator, rolled into one. So I teach the part that's more technical.
Mm-hmm. And you do. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, especially with audiobooks, an audiobook production requires someone who knows enough about the processing and the technical side as much as the performative side. It is a 2-in-1, and for voice actors too, but not as much as what is needed. You need to know more about your DAW and what it can and can't do as an audiobook narrator.
100%. And that also comes, like, over time, eventually you get equipment that does the job right out of the box, versus like when you have a certain budget, right, and you have to work with, I guess, either quirks or limitations of your equipment. If you have a USB microphone, for example, you don't have enough headroom, so you have to record a little bit lower. Otherwise, you distort earlier than an XLR microphone. Microphones, like especially modern microphones like the Rode NT1, they have kind of like a hype or an extension in the top end to be more to deliver more clarity. But what that means is that it can also cause you to be more sibilant. So you have to learn how to work around your equipment. Mm-hmm. And that's where things like understanding your DAW, understanding your plugins becomes more important. The gear becomes secondary. You have to learn how to process it correctly. And that's what people tend to be a little confused about. They put on the microphone, they realize, like, why are my S's so sharp, Mm-hmm. And again, that comes down to also what you can afford to start with at the time. I have Rockwell panels behind me right now, but, there was a time I had like moving blankets, just like everybody else. And they tend to exacerbate the sibilant frequencies because they tend to be configured in a flat position, not pleated, and not everybody has the space in their room to pleat their blankets, or enough blankets to pleat them. That's a whole lot of blankets right there. Mm-hmm. So that's what I teach. I feel like primarily these days I'm more of an audiobook producer. I master audiobooks. I process raw files. And that's usually from people who want to skip the whole engineering aspect entirely and just want to hand off their performances. But I also teach people how to work with their audio interface. Their DAW, not their audio interface. And I also recommend plugins for processing. And if they don't want to do that, I just give them like an effects rack. Mm-hmm. So it's like a one and done deal. It's like a click, process, master. There you go. Bob's your uncle.
And you do this a lot for a lot of our Academy members. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Caesar is a member of a VO's Journey Academy. Came in through with the Platinum Group when we joined forces with Anthony Pico's VO's Journey. And Caesar has actually given a few presentations now in our Launchpad. And I know that, you and Anthony, I don't know when you guys ever sleep. You guys are always doing something for somebody. But Caesar is... I don't even have the appropriate words for what Caesar does for our community. And I know that everybody listening, including myself, are just listening to Caesar speak and just... You have one of those voices, Caesar. Just read me a shampoo bottle. I don't care what it is. Just keep talking.
Run your fingers through your hair. Do it gently. Okay.
Okay. No, Caesar. Okay.
Strike
No,
one.
but it's, we tried. We tried. But, Caesar sees an open door. He's going to run right through it. Okay. Let's just check back in with the poll really quick. So it looks like it is shifting a bit. So now we have 4% of people asking or choosing the right mic was their response. 33% audio processing and plug-in. 46% is still knowing what's good enough. And then we have 17% asking about recording space. So I know you know a lot about microphones, Caesar.
Yeah.
And I know that we say this all the time for everybody watching. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Your space is going to be different. Shapes, sizes, everyone's voice is different. Your treating your space is going to be different. But is there a safe bet for a beginner's microphone, in your opinion?
Yes.
What do you think that is?
Now, depending on where you work, I would imagine the first thing you do is you find the quietest place in your home.
Absolutely.
Right? And that would most of the time be a walk-in closet of some kind. And those who can't afford things like moving blankets or Rockwool panels start with clothing, right? Or anything that's naturally diffusing, bookshelves with uneven spines, like book spines, because they create a diffusing effect. And you have to work with what your budget allows. If you have like $250, just get a Rode NT1 5th Gen, because you can use the USB Type-C connection. And when you've got the funds for an actual XLR system, then get a Scarlett Solo 4th Gen, for example. And I stress 4th Gen because they've made improvements from the third gen, including gain range and also the like how noisy the microphone is. I mean, how noisy the preamp is.
Yeah.
The 4th is a lot quieter. And if you have a lot of people also use dynamics like RE20s and SM7Bs because they reject the room a little bit better. Although I find with audiobooks, because there are so many micro details, like intentional breaths, sighs, gasps, moments when you need to express emotion as effectively as possible, I still recommend a condenser. So, which is why I go with the NT1.
Okay.
Now, if you have a little bit more to spend, NT1 Signature Edition is about like 160, 170. And then pair that with a Scarlett Solo, I think you're probably spending roughly $300, maybe 320, 350. And that's a great place to start. Now, the reason why I recommend the NT1 is not because I like how it sounds. I actually don't, but it punches way above its weight, and microphones that are within its price range, nothing beats the NT1.
And just for those that are unfamiliar, it's a Rode NT1. And I actually have it. It should be in the description for those of you on YouTube as recommended products. And for the interface, it is a Focusrite Scarlett Solo. So that way people can Google and search if they want to get started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an NT1A. That was my first XLR mic, was an NT1A. And then I moved to my Sennheiser. What are you working with today? What you got in the studio? What's your mic right now?
This one is a Laden Audio LS208. It's a very room-rejecting microphone. It's a microphone that behaves like a dynamic in that it just focuses on your voice and less the room, but it provides the detail and the warmth of a condenser microphone, and it's $600. So,
for those of you that want to hear what the different microphones sound like, and this was my go-to YouTube channel when deciding,
Was it Audio Test Kitchen or
no, Booth Junkie? Booth Junkie, because I wanted to see how the Sennheiser sounded and the NT1A and every other microphone I ever bought. I first checked with Booth Junkie.
Hmm.
because he does mic comparisons all the time. Because it's not easy to, you know, hear what a microphone sounds like in most cases before you buy
Hmm.
it. So that is a great place for those of you that are just getting started. But the NT1 seems to be a great, and it was for me too, a great starter
Hmm.
microphone. And the
It is.
Focusrite Solos, fourth gen, and I'm sorry, my light is having a minute. I don't know
I
what it's
saw that.
doing, but it keeps doing it. It's probably going out. But anyway, but those are the pieces of gear that we recommend if you're just getting started out.
Yes.
What else? Oh, knowing what's good enough. For
Hmm.
those of you, the 55% of them said knowing what's good enough. And I think, and I ran into this too. Like, how do I know when to stop tweaking? When is my effects rack, my presets, when do I know when to just leave it alone? And I think that is us chasing that perfection, right?
That's right.
We're continually tweaking, we're continually adjusting, adding plugins when we were probably good enough, last month or the month before,
Even the year before, actually.
because because we keep adding more and more, thinking that we need it when we actually don't. And I think
Hmm.
the best way, and I'm sure Caesar will agree with me, the best way to know when or what you actually need and when to stop tweaking is to get feedback
Yes.
from your peers or hire a sound engineer or an audio engineer to help you and just eliminate all of that guesswork. For me, it was a year. It was a year
Yeah.
of tweaking and toiling and really, I think, making myself sound worse than I needed to just by doing too much. And when I hired an audio engineer, it was minimal. I mean, it was
Hmm.
minimal tweaking that I actually needed. So
Hmm.
knowing what's good enough, I would say get feedback. And a fantastic way to do that is to join a VO's Journey Academy. It's
That's
the
right.
academy that I coach for it with Anthony Pica and four other coaches. Caesar's a member. I mean, we have very, very active and supportive members. But we meet with Launchpad, we meet every Thursday, not
Hmm.
during the holidays, but we'll reconvene after the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But every Thursday, and Caesar is active in Discord, and we have a lot of members that are like Caesar that are very helpful and help each other, give each other feedback. And that is the best way to know when is it good enough, because there really isn't like a list. Use this effect at this setting and use it, because everybody is so different. Like we said before, there's too many variables. So you
That's
really
right.
need one-on-one feedback to know
Mm.
when to stop messing with it, basically.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I love VO's Journey and Launchpad and previously Platinum. And it's because as a sound engineer, okay, so I started off wanting to be a voice actor, right? And eventually I started chasing those percents. I get to 10%, 20%, so on and so forth. I get to 99%, and I'm not stopping. I'm still chasing that 1%.
Yeah.
All right. And that's what made me a sound engineer. It's like, how do I get that 1%? And it started, I went into a spiral. I bought a lot of gear. I tried out a lot of plugins. And eventually, as part of Launchpad, VO's Journey, um, I can now give that 1% to other people. And that's one of the things I truly enjoy. When people come to me and say, "Do I sound good enough?" I'd say, yes. And I would say the changes are minimal. A lot of people, for example, they worry too much about things like their noise floor. They worry about their mouth noise. They worry about whether their recording environment is good enough for voiceover. And most of the time, there are workarounds, right? If you can't treat all four walls, treat the front and the back, for example. If you have, what do you call that? If you have road noise, apply a high pass filter. If you have echo, there's actually something called waves clarity de-reverb, for example. It's not perfect. You have to use it in very gentle settings, but everything has a solution. And you give them that 1%, and all of a sudden I realize a lot of people just get really much more confident. They book more. They audition more because they feel better about their sound.
Mm-hmm.
And when you compare the sound that they had before and the sound that has that 1%, it's not exactly a night and day difference. It's
It's
just a
that
little cleaner.
confidence. The
Yeah,
confidence is everything.
exactly.
Is everything. Just to have someone tell you, hey, this sounds great. What are you worried about?
Yeah,
Is enough, to keep moving forward, because it's that imposter syndrome,
that's right.
thinking that you're not good enough
Mm,
just because, but hearing from others that just could change your career.
absolutely. And at some point, once you start booking more, you can actually purchase with intent, right? When you start
Mm-hmm.
off, you get whatever you can afford. You get an NT1, you get a Scarlett Solo. But then when you have enough money to actually upgrade things in your studio, identify pain points. If there's a bit of an echo in the back, get Rockwell panels, for example, and they don't have to be expensive. You can just DIY that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to microphones and audio interfaces, if you are worried about things like road noise, for example, bleeding into your recording, then get an audio interface with a high-pass filter or get a mic with a high-pass filter, and that takes away that problem. And it's one thing that you can take out of your DAW, and, you can have a clean signal going in and not have to process it too much.
And even if you don't get a microphone that has a high pass filter,
Mm-hmm.
most DAWs will have some sort of an equalizer, like Adobe Audition has
All
a
of them do.
parametric, yeah,
Yeah.
that you can add a high pass filter
High-pass.
to.
Yeah.
But audio processing and plugins, as we always say, don't get plugins and do certain types of processing if you don't need it. Just because somebody tells you that they use it doesn't necessarily mean that you need it. This is why feedback is so important. Because as Caesar said before with the noise floor, especially if you are an audiobook narrator or looking to get into it, a noise floor is a factor. It's one of the file formatting standards. So, but doing too much is also a thing. Applying too much of a noise reducer can actually do more damage than good. And you don't have to be at zero noise floor. Just under -60 is sufficient.
Yeah.
So people, and I did it too, and I'm sure a lot of people watching will say the same. We did way too much processing. We got a lot of comments and questions for you. So
Where do we start?
I know.
Shall we start at the top?
Yeah, Sean was here. 107, was that yesterday? 107 p.m. I think yesterday. Caesar episode. So excited. I hope he's here. And I know Hannah was here early too. Angela and Caesar. It's going to be super fun. Well, I hope we're not disappointing so far. We had one no Caesar.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to keep it at that, but, we'll see. Hannah says, Caesar has helped me a lot with processing and my audio quality, but I still struggle with knowing what means good sound and what is considered bad. My ear is just not trained enough to pick out the things that need changing. Caesar is just incredible at that. He just listens and says what frequency is not sounding good, for example, and I watch him do his magic with my mouth open. He is incredibly skilled and deserves all the praise. Anyways, yes, I hope to get better at this myself so I could actually start recognizing these things. And you do. I didn't know what the hell I was listening to until I started to do it. And I did it for years. And then your ear starts to become a little more attuned to recognizing sounds. Like, as I mentioned before, I started on the glass dining room table when I first started, not realizing that echo was a bad thing. I just got accustomed to the sound. I got used to how I sounded recording myself, but not understanding that all of the other artifacts that were in there, like the echo and, the boxy room sound, weren't beneficial to my overall audio quality. So getting feedback from other people can point these things out and tell you exactly what you need and what you don't need. So feedback, especially from at the very minimal, in peer groups like we have in Launchpad and Avio's Journey Academy, or reaching out directly to skilled individuals like Caesar can help you cut out all of that, chasing that last 1% or wherever you are in your, massaging your audio quality journey. Paul was here. Good morning. Good morning. Rebecca popped in, of course. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Alive with Angela and Caesar. Better believe I grabbed my popcorn and got here early. Kiddos with grandma, so that helped a lot too. Hope you have a pen and paper ready. Yeah, actually, Rebecca's a duet. Well, let's just say she's a partner. She's an audiobook production partner. She's a narration partner. And I think I'm going to have both of you on, Rebecca. Yes.
That would be great.
Can have both of you on at some point. Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun.
I think I can have up to 10. So we'll have to have the both of you on at some point. But you guys, what is the name of your duo?
It's Crimson Quill. Rebecca tried to say Crimson Krill the last time, but that was a mistake.
That's
easy.
Whales
eat.
Yeah. Just
yep.
Krill.
Yeah. I'll be punished later. I know it. But
so before we forget, how do people, if anybody's watching this and an author hears you and is just as enamored of your voice as we are, how do they reach out to you or to you and Rebecca?
Well, we both have websites. I made hers and I made mine.
That's gorgeous. They're both gorgeous, gorgeous websites.
Yeah. Thank you. And hers is voicedbyrebecca.com and mine is voiceofcaesar.com. So you can find us there. And
Voice of Caesar.
Yeah. I didn't realize how narcissistic that sounded until he actually said it back to me.
No, be proud of it.
Okay.
Be proud of it. You should be. You've come a long way in just a couple of years. I mean, as soon as I met you, I knew you were going to go far. I knew you were going to go far, which is, I think, why I slapped you around so much when that imposter syndrome surfaced and you voiced it.
I used to be very surprised at receiving praise, which was a very interesting thing, isn't it?
It's hard. It's hard to accept, especially, I don't know about many other people, but as an introvert, I don't ever like the spotlight to be on me. And I know you guys all go, well, you have a YouTube channel. What are you talking about? Yes, but I'm actually sitting by myself in a space. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I get to talk to other interesting people. So, Sean is here. I just saw that. Hey, Sean. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? I'm so distracted by Caesar.
Crimson Quill and how to reach out to us. So voiceofcaesar.com and voiced by Rebecca. And we both have website trailers, so take a look at those there. I had a lot of fun making those.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I think my cup of tea retracted that message for whatever reason. But Jason says, honestly, it's a toss-up between audio and good enough for me. I get work and the people seem satisfied with the end result, but I always want my audio to be better. And that's completely normal. Yep. I think we all feel that way, but I mean, in reality, the best way to know is just to get feedback. Is to have somebody tell you, hey, you're good. Go forth and make money. Yep. Stop messing with it. My cup of tea said, good morning. I hope you're well. It is chilly here in Eastern Washington. I chose good enough. But while typing up my justification, I think I found the solution to the problem I was about to share. Oh, as we were talking?
How about that?
That's why we do this, peoples. That's why we do this. It's to help you guys, if we can. Rebecca says, I'm pretty well set up at this point. Thank you, Caesar. But I remember starting out and wanted good equipment, but didn't want to be upsold on something I didn't need. Exactly. And that's why we're having this conversation. Because I've met people that started with secondhand USB mics and then upgraded as they went. And then I've met other people who started right out the gate with a Sennheiser 416 and an Apollo twin interface. I mean, as their first equipment. So, I mean, you can start with just about anything. I think your room, the treatment of your room is much more important than the microphone that you choose. And
Yes.
I mean, keep in mind, everything that Caesar is saying is absolutely 100% accurate, but you don't have to start there. I mean, if all you have handy is a Blue Yeti mic that you got from the pawn shop next door, you can upgrade as you go. What's more
Yeah,
important is the treatment of your space.
that's right.
Yeah, I was going to go off on a whole other tangent, but I'm going to pump the
Same
brakes on it.
actually.
Gia says, good afternoon. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday. Yep. So excited to see you both. And then Hannah, today we can see the mom looks and the no Caesar's live. Oh, look at
Everybody
Dwight's here.
expects me to misbehave, actually.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah,
given. It's synonymous.
is.
I mean, Caesar and no Caesar are kind of, they go together. Dwight's here. Hey, Dwight.
Yes.
Where's
Hope you're
Dwight
feeling
been?
better, Dwight.
Oh, has he been ill? I'm sorry, Dwight. Rebecca said, I'm noticing when Caesar talks, the chat goes quiet. Angela's right. You got to hear his voice. Less wound.
Oh, shucks.
We're going to make Caesar blush. Jason says, Caesar, do you have any tips or advice for audiobooks where you have to scream or yell? I turn down my gain and then play with levels until it sounds right. What do you do?
This is what I do. I have analog equipment that allows me to scream. I'm not going to do it right here because I don't want to shock the hell out of everybody.
He's
But
showing off, but that's okay.
yeah. But if you watch the needles go back while I talk, it's very subtle right now because I'm staying fairly moderate in my speech. But if you can't, because here's what happens, right? An analog signal goes into an audio interface and it goes to the DAW, right? But if that signal is really high, it's going to stress the audio interface and then it's going to come back to the DAW as clipping. But if you can reduce the dynamics before it gets to your DAW through your audio interface as a digital signal, then you won't have clipping and you can scream as much as you want to. In fact, a lot of people do that when singing, belting, or doing like voices for animation because there's a lot of energy there. You'll see setups like this in places like HarperCollins, Walt Disney, and Pixar. But I'm not encouraging you to buy this stuff. But okay, so if you need to scream, back off from the microphone, dial your gain back. If you have a 10 or 20 dB pad on your microphone or your audio interface, engage that so that the signal's not as hot, and then scream. And then once it's recorded, you'll notice that there's a lot of high frequency. It's more highs than lows. So use your equalizer and then boost the lows back so that it sounds closer. And then control the dynamics with the compressor and then Bob's your uncle. There you go. That's what I used to do before I got all this stuff.
So to put it in layman's terms,
Sure.
or to sum up,
Yes.
you can get all the fancy equipment that Caesar has. I'm poking fun at you, Caesar.
I know.
Or just simply back away from your microphone or just turn down the gain as you're screaming.
Yes.
I've also seen another voice actor mention that for situations such as this, he actually records in multi-track with two different microphones. One, like his narration microphone is where it is, and then he has another one that's a little further away
That's right.
that he is recording simultaneously on both, but then in the multi-track, you have two separate tracks, one for each microphone. So then when he's screaming, he's removing the scream from the up-close microphone and using the one that's far away. So and it doesn't sound far away, but it's not as loud. And it's then he can mix the two tracks together at the end after he's adjusted. It sounds a lot more
Yes.
complicated, but for those of you that are not at the beginning stage, that is an option for you as well. But basically, the best way to go is just to back off.
Back
Because
off.
as you can see, we move around from our microphones, the sound is going to change. So
Yep.
back off or just turn down the gain.
Yep.
And then, and or, you know, follow Caesar's lead and get all of the fancy equipment. I'm poking fun, Caesar.
I know.
Caesar has a gas problem. Gear acquisition syndrome.
I took the production part of audiobook production very seriously.
Yes. Eric Grimes is here. Hey, Eric. Oh my God, that TikTok of you and Jamie. Have you seen that one of those two singing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Eric says, hi, Angela and Caesar. Hiring Caesar to help with my setup. Best money I've spent. Caesar, you are don't ask me to pronounce words this early. In many roles, VO engineer, producer, etc. What's your favorite?
Oh, wow. Okay, so
It's a good question.
oh God, that's a tough one. I think all of them, but if like I've told a number of people this, and including you, Angela, I would like to get into immersive audiobook production sometime this year with the I've loved movies for a very long time. I've loved theater. I've loved point and click adventure games. I feel like if we can actually do kind of like a movie in your head kind of thing, right? When you listen to an audiobook. And I know graphic audio has been doing it for a while, and sometimes I feel like, oh shit, I should have been first. But yeah, I guess producer would probably be up there. Engineer second, VO third, and the only reason why VO is third is because sometimes I'm not sure why people like listening to me.
You need to shut down that imposter syndrome right now, sir.
Yeah.
Live on air. Knock it off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We are going to get to that point with Academy Voices where we're going to be producing fully immersive, dramatic. What's the term? What does graphic audio use? Dramatized audio.
Yeah.
A movie in your mind, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to that point with Academy Voices. And I'm
Reminds me, I
looking
need to
forward to
send-
it.
I need to send Anthony that sample I sent you before.
Yes, the one with the battlefield is the one that immediately
battlefield.
came.
Yeah.
The one that immediately came to mind when we were talking about it.
Yep.
With the horses in the background and that was just blew my mind. Caesar is uber talented.
Fitting all those horses in the studio was a little tough, though.
Yeah, I bet. Pam said, I got a message from Discord that my DMs did not go through to you. I'm assuming she's talking to you. I'll email you. Evidently, it's been going on since early December. Thanks for sharing your knowledge.
Oh, I'm going to reach out to you, Pam. If Discord has been discordant, I'll reach out by email.
Tanya's got cherry glazed chocolate donuts.
Come on. Why?
My stomach's growling. Oh my God. I ate so much crap this weekend. We did a day trip to Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Boyfriend took me to Vegas for the weekend. We ate so much.
stretchy pants. That's the solution.
No.
I've got stretchy pants for the holidays.
It's been nonstop stretchy pants for like the last month with Thanksgiving and then Christmas and oh my God.
New Year's just around the corner.
I know. That's gonna just be mainly alcohol though.
Oh yeah, true. And fireworks.
Tanya
same
does say, yeah. I'm still not confident that what I'm hearing is what other people are hearing from my audio.
Okay, this takes. In fact, I wanted to say this a little while earlier. learn how to trust your ears.
Mhm.
And I know that's tough to say because I didn't trust my ears for a very long time. But that's the great thing about having a VO community like Launchpad, VO's Journey, Platinum. It's because you get to trust other people's ears. Just make sure that the people you're trusting are trustworthy, because sometimes they pull stuff out of their anywhere.
Mhm.
So, but here's the thing. Over time, I've learned how to identify certain frequencies that do not belong in voiceover. Mouth clicks, for example. What really loud slash breaths but mostly sibilants actually. And I also know how to rebalance a voice where it's not too bright up top or not too bassy at the bottom. And eventually, I learned how to trust my own ears. Um, it just took a while. Um, and eventually, people will get to that point. But if you don't trust your ears right now, learn how to trust somebody else's. Get feedback, and they'll tell you whether your sound is good or not, or whether not that your sound is bad. Maybe there's just like a resonant frequency there that needs to be removed, or maybe you need to be de-essed a little bit, or maybe you need to change your mouth click settings. But these little things should not prevent you from, or should not make you think that your voice is bad, or should not prevent you from going out and looking for work. All
Yeah.
right. So that's it. Trust your ears. And if you can't trust them now, find somebody who can either teach you how to trust them or teach you what to look for or just provide feedback in general.
And Tanya, you should not let anything stop you from sharing your beautiful voice with the world.
That's a wonderful voice.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to have her on too. I want to highlight a bunch of people from Launchpad.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Dwight says, it's my first actual day in the booth in months. Your poll was interesting to me as the beginning of my VO career. All of those were equally overwhelming, and they can be.
They can be.
It's just one step at a time. I think, as Caesar said earlier, the most important thing in the beginning is you and your sound bites. The most important thing you can do is to choose some place that is relatively quiet, that is, and I always say a dedicated space, because you don't want to have to change anything. Once you have it set up, you don't want anything to move. Your chair, your mic placement, anything in the room. Subtle changes can be reflected in the audio quality, especially with audiobooks, because you need it to sound consistent all the way through. So the most important thing is choosing your space and then treating it accordingly, and then choosing a microphone. The Rode NT1 is a great starter one, but it's just one step at a time, right? All of the stuff can be overwhelming if you let it, but everything will come with time. And just getting into a community or joining a community, as we always say, it will help to expedite the process by learning from and getting feedback from people who have enough knowledge, know enough what they're talking about to give you feedback and their opinions on things.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm
matter
so
of fact.
distracted. I've got so much going on. Go ahead, Caesar. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Two things, really. Dwight is a good example of improving over time. I think he had a space with quilts at some point and a budget microphone and fairly capable audio interface, but also fit the budget category. Now he has a Sennheiser microphone, large diaphragm, an Apollo Twin X USB, and an actual booth which he built himself, which has like 4-inch thick open cell foam acoustic panels.
Memory like a steel trap.
I know. Shoot, what was the second thing? Okay, here's the thing. Okay, about all the variables, right? You can get to 90% with very little work. If you've got a room that's fairly quiet, if you've got clothes or anything that diffuses or absorbs sound, you're already about 40% there. You get a microphone, you're 60% there. You compress very gently and then limit very gently, you're 80% there. You do match loudness or loudness normalization, you're 90% there. The things that people chase tend to be the micro dynamics of voiceover processing, things like choosing a colored saturator or choosing a compressor which has a certain kind of attack, a certain kind of release, a certain kind of threshold, whatever, or imparts a certain kind of sound, or having a de-esser that's very intelligent and captures anything that you sidechain between 4K to 7K. That's 1%. All right, and I'll be glad to give you that 1% as your sound engineer. That's great, but if you compare your sound before that 1%, or maybe 10%, it's not as bad as you thought. Really,
Mm-hmm.
you can get by with very little processing. And yeah, as a sound engineer, I'm just there to provide the last the icing on the cake, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder how many people are stuck in that spot. Well,
chasing that 1%.
51%, apparently.
Yeah.
47 votes at this point, and 51% said knowing what's good enough.
Well, you can reach me on Discord if you need to, if you need to know what your sound is, what could be improved, and what kind of cherry on top I can provide for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that through Launchpad as well. I'd love to see you there. I love being there. It's it's taught me a lot being there I was in Platinum for like 2 years, and well, I was in Launchpad ever since it launched.
Ever since we merged with the VO's Journey Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in September.
September, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Time flies.
Time's fun when you're having flies.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul, for the mince pies. I appreciate it.
Oh, yes.
Eric Grimes says, also for us who are listening and trying to improve, what should we focus on to help us achieve our potential? Is there a group of voice actors you would recommend?
How about that?
Yes. Launchpad? A VO's Journey Academy? Come and join us. Come and join us. There's a link for those of you watching on YouTube. There's a link in the description where you can enroll and come and join me and Caesar and Eric Grimes and a ton of other people and learn and grow together.
We're a merry band of misfits.
I was just going to say that we're like we are a functional, dysfunctional family. A merry band of misfits is a better way to explain it. Yeah. And there it is. No Caesar.
Happy to oblige.
Professor Tracy says, good morning. Great to see you, Caesar.
Hello.
Oh, I know. Caesar, I know it's early for Caesar. It's early in the morning for Caesar because you are in the Philippines.
That is correct, yes. You can tell by my accent.
Jason says, great stuff, guys. Sorry. A little dry. It's dry. No, it is not a complete day without a no Caesar. Caesar's a vampire in a side gig.
Yes.
Oh, God. Sorry. You take over the comments. I'm choking over here.
That's right. Okay. Hi from snowy Minnesota. Is that Minnesota or Minneapolis? No, that is in Minnesota. Anyway, Use a small walk-in closet with an NT1 condenser microphone. The closet is a walk-in, but very small. Is it possible that there isn't enough room for the sound to seem normal? Yes, but that is not an issue that can't be mitigated. And if you have in your DAW, you will have an EQ, a parametric equalizer. If it's Audacity, you have a crappy equalizer, but you can get a free one from Muse Hub called Soundly Shape It, which is parametric. A lot of what happens inside small spaces is something called low-end buildup. So if you can take what you call a low shelf cut, you can push down anywhere from roughly, let's say, I can't tell. Try 300 hertz, and if it's cutting away too much, then move it back to about 250. Then if it's cutting back too much, then move it to 200.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Got a lot of new names in the comments. It's awesome. I hope you guys don't feel like you don't have enough, that you don't know enough about voiceover to ask questions. I don't want anybody to ever feel that their question is stupid or, it's a newbie question or anything like that. Ask your questions. I'm glad you guys are reaching out just to, say hi. Do it. Ken said his first, yep, mine was too. What is the difference between the NT1 and the NT1A? Is it a huge difference?
The NT1A is actually more reviled by most sound engineers because it's a very harsh, very brittle top end. The NT1 is smoother sounding and usually offered at a higher price point versus the NT1A. But it's still worth it to pony up the cash for an NT1 because it's more balanced. It has a bump at the top end. I think it's around the 10 kilohertz range. So it can make you a little sibilant if you have that problem, but that can be mitigated, using the functionalities in your DAW.
Of course, I chose the NT1A.
Well, you buy what you can afford at the time, and sometimes it's the NT1A. Sometimes it's an 80-20-20. Sometimes your budget's like $100. That's it.
Yeah.
Full stop. So you buy what you can. Although I believe with tariffs, the 80-20-20 is now 120 or 130, where it used to be 100. Yeah. So fun.
Let's see. Sage says editing has become the bane of my existence.
Ooh.
It's time consuming for sure.
It is. And look, it's something that I will always recommend. Turn on your spectral view. Don't just rely on the waveform. A lot of times there are things that you can see on your spectral view that will tell you whether it's an S sound or maybe it's just like a honk from your nose, or whether it's a slash breath. That will speed up your editing quite a bit. So turn that on. You can do that in Audacity, Audition, Reaper, everywhere, all DAWs, and learn how to read it.
Oh, best gain range in the DAW. I like to stay around between -12 and -18 for raw recording volume.
Yes. Your audio has to live between -12, -18 in your DAW's full scale. That's where you'd like to be. Don't record too hot. You need to have some headroom for when you're excited, and you need a little bit of headroom also at the bottom when you're whispering, when you're quiet, when you're apologetic, stuff like that. So 12, 18. The rest, whispers -26, screams -6. You can go beyond -60 if you have a really good audio interface, like Rebecca's, where you can get really close to zero without distorting. But again, your mileage may vary.
Sage, don't let your need to upgrade your equipment, because I don't even know if you need to, stop you from setting up your effects rack. And I get it, because you don't want to set up an effects rack and then upgrade your stuff and then have to tweak your effects rack again.
Effects rack again, yeah.
Which I totally get, but
if I remember correctly, Sage has a. Well, here's the thing. We have to upgrade with intent, all right, and that's usually where you consult a sound engineer. Sage has a Blue Yeti, but she's also a very dynamic performer. She's a great actress, all right. She's a great voice actor, and I feel like there is something about the Blue Yeti that does limit her from reaching her potential. I mean, we've seen that with voice actors like Mary Lynn, for example. I think she had a cheap dynamic that she got from Alibaba or whatever, Temu. But she was a great actor, and she performed very well. And I believe I got to speak to her fairly recently, and I told her what a good starting point for her. So for Sage, a Blue Yeti is good, but because she's an excellent performer, she could use an NT1 because it will react better to her performance. So
that's a great point. I know you mentioned it earlier, but what Caesar means is purchasing with intent.
Yeah.
If you're on the verge of upgrading your equipment, consult with an audio engineer first. And they'll save you some time and potentially money, so you're not out just buying the coolest new thing when it won't really serve you as well as something else that's a little bit gonna be a better purchase for your space, your voice, your particular situation. So that's a great point too. Because every time you buy new equipment, you do need to adjust your effects rack along with it.
You might even have to adjust your room. I remember this one lady who purchased a TLM 103, but she basically was recording in a pine box. It was a very tiny closet. And a TLM 103, and in fact, a lot of microphones like bigger, more open spaces, right? So she had to move out, and I think now she's treating her entire spare bedroom. So, yeah, again, talk to a sound engineer. They'll be able to either stop you dead in your tracks if you're about to do something wrong, or at least give you a nudge in the right direction and maybe save you a lot of grief down the line. Or money, more importantly. Yeah.
I have a new recording space. Voiceover by Lisa says, using Audacity, Rode NT1 mic, I'm getting 2 horizontal lines on my spectrogram at exactly 8,000 and 16,000. Doesn't seem to be interfering with the sound.
That is likely interference with another electronic device. It could be the power brick from your laptop. Or, it could be fridge. Well, no, the fridge hum is not. A fridge hum is 50 hertz. Okay, so like more towards a low range. It sounds more like some kind of electronic interference. Could be from an LED light somewhere. The Rode NT1, if you got the signature edition, usually comes with a bog standard XLR cable that's not shielded. So what you can do, especially if you're in a studio with lots of electronic stuff on the floor, like power strips and stuff like that, is to get a shielded XLR cable. And you can get them from Amazon for like $30 or something like that for like a 6-foot cable. And that's going to save you a lot of grief. If you have a phone charger or a laptop, an iPad or tablet charger somewhere, that can also cause interference. That may explain the 2 lines you see in your DAW.
That is definitely something I overlooked, and I know a lot of us overlook too, is the cables we use or the cables that we connect with, or if we're plugging multiple things into a singular power brick, or even, the cables from the microphone to the interface, or I mean, long story short, the electronics and the cables and chargers,
Yep.
all of that stuff can interfere or what was the other word? Getting old sucks, Caesar. Don't get old. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Cables matter.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. We overlook them a lot because we just we use the cables that come with the microphone, and we figure, yeah, that's good enough. But yeah, they're prone to interference.
I think one of the best things I did was upgrade to Megami Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one of those. It's a like electronic conditioner type of a power brick.
Power conditioner. Furman,
Power conditioner.
probably.
Furman, yeah.
Yes, I have one on my studio rack, actually.
So it helps to clean out any kind of interference, which is nice.
Yep.
Because it all matters a whole lot more than we think it does. I'm trying to find some questions. Racinda, is that how you pronounce that? It says Caesar's voice gives me that Morgan Freeman vibe.
Oh, thank you.
Professor Tracy says, is there a good size for a room of one to stay away from?
Standard
Smaller,
booths are like
larger?
4x6, so that's probably your absolute minimum. Because the last thing you want to do is box yourself in, and then you're gonna sound like really woolly or something. You can use larger rooms if you have the appropriate treatment, like I do, rock wool panels and all that. But look, if you're doing home studio stuff, just find a closet, like a walk-in closet, and I think you're good to go. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. Danny says, what about recording over or using a Rode NT1 5th gen at a 32-bit float?
That effectively helps prevent clipping. Yeah, that's true. And a lot of field recorders also use 32-bit float because they have to record very quiet sounds and very loud sounds. Eventually, I considered this too when I was starting out with VO, but 32-bit float in a studio environment is overkill, right? It's a great safety. It's a great safety net, but for the most part, the human voice does not require 32-bit float. You can, like 24 is more than enough. And if you're constantly relying on 32-bit float, then you have a problem with your voice control, which is very important for voice actors to know how to control their voice.
Is this what you did, Dwight? Did he fall down stairs?
That's right.
Oh my God. Is this what you did?
Yeah.
Broken tailbone, broken sternum, collarbone.
Yeah.
Is he being funny? Is this what he really did?
No, that actually really happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where have I been? Oh my God, Dwight. Oh.
He's on the mend, but there are parts that will require like physical therapy, especially the what do you call it? Resetting the crystals in your ear, doing that thing when you have vertigo, when you spin your head around like Linda Blair. Sorry.
I almost had water come out of my nose.
I'm sorry.
Perfect timing. It would have been par for the course anyway.
Yeah.
Broad Axialon says to Tycon Delar, we all went in from the start. Oh, went all in from the start. Am I reading that right? Senny 416 Apollo Twin,
Yes.
Snap
X.
booth, Snap Studio booth.
I've
Is that
seen
one of
those.
those ones that, like a portable one that you could put together?
Yeah, I've seen them on Amazon.
Tim Tippett's audio chain. I figured if I'm going to do this, I want my performance to be the main focus. Absolutely.
Hmm. Those are good choices.
Mm-hmm. Phil says, you really do provide a wonderful service. Caesar, I'm going to reach out soon. Well, there you go.
Looking forward to hearing back.
Voiceofcaesar.com, right?
Yep,
Voiceofcaesar.com.
that's
Dave
right.
Dave Brumfield says, hello, Angela and Caesar from Hamilton, Ontario.
Beautiful place.
See, Adam says, thanks to you both for all the assistance you offer selflessly. My question is probably an easy one. Is it necessary to upgrade to the latest versions of plugins even if the current works well? Oh, that's a good question. And I could tell you, I there was a time I had RX-7 and I was working with Tim Tippett, and at the time the current version was RX-10. And I had asked him if it was worth upgrading, and he's like, no, wait till 11 or something along those lines. So you don't necessarily have to be using the most current version if we're talking about stuff like that. But if your DAW needs to update or anything like that, the software definitely do that. But as far as plugins, what's your take, Caesar? Do we need the most current version of plugins?
Honestly, I'd like to say, well, it's a safe blanket statement. It depends on the plugins. But from my experience, plugin upgrades have been incredibly incremental over the last few years. Some plugins, like I think Isotope, especially after they were acquired by Native Instruments, have more intelligence in things like spectral denoise or mouth click detection or declick detection. So that's worth it. Okay. If it's a smarter plugin, that's fine. With Waves, most of their upgrades for the last couple of years have been GUI related. You can just like scale them and it looks nicer. So if that matters to you, sure, go ahead and upgrade. If it doesn't, then don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna say this out for you. He said,
Thank you.
"Mabuhay, Caesar. My wife is from Davao, Philippines. I wish to retire there during doing VO until I sunset. That is a lovely goal. I know a lot of places in the Philippines that are going to be really pretty and will afford you a nice retirement lifestyle, but the time zone difference can be a little tough. I work here in the Philippines and I stay up at night interfacing with clients from both the East and West Coast and also Central. And for the most part, that's fine. But when I have to do stuff in the evening, I mean, in the morning, locally, like groceries or errands, I tend to lose sleep over that. So, and then I would have to like live on 2 hours of sleep before I start working again in the evening. That can be tough.
I don't know how you do it, Caesar.
Coffee.
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee.
I actually had Filipino food in Vegas.
How about that?
It was really good.
And it didn't jump off of your plate and run away.
No.
We like them fresh.
Ah, what did you do in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Jules is here. Hey, Jules. I'm late, brought donuts. As a woman, mics are hard because there's not a lot of female examples testing. Oh, that's a great
She's
point.
absolutely right about that. Actually, a lot of guys who podcasted, Booth Junkie. There are very few women who do this. As a matter of fact, I think Jules did mention that she wanted to start a YouTube channel and test mics that way because she's got 9, I think.
So she's got gas
6.
too.
Yeah, we're competing.
Yeah.
I need to buy 3 more to be on her level this year. But
So get on it, Jules.
Yeah.
Let's see, Danny says, if you go to Audacity's audio website and search Danny Alvarez, would you mind critiquing the soundtrack titled A Sennheiser 416 Test Mastering? Audacity's
Audacity's
audio
audio
website?
website?
You know, I have the
Wow.
same question.
Yeah.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Definitely talk to Caesar about the pros and cons about recording in the
Oh.
Philippines. Hint, super typhoons.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I spent roughly $5,000 in soundproofing because I live in a very noisy environment. I imagine that may not be such a huge issue in other places in the world, but yes, we have super typhoons. We also have really loud roosters. And we also have neighbors who absolutely love their karaoke weekends.
That face
Pushing
says
a
it all.
little. Yeah.
That face says it all.
Yep.
Oh. Well, hello, random memes. Thanks for joining.
Hello? What in the world is that?
My son. Mary Lee
Oh.
says, took all Caesar's recommendations to heart, too. Thank you so much. Dwight says, don't forget to like, follow, and share to help Miss Angela. Yes, please. Also,
Absolutely.
check out and click all of, God, I'm going to say this preemptively. No, Caesar. Click all of Caesar's buttons. Go to his website. Look at all of his stuff. Send him a message. I can see you. You're trying very hard. Your face again says it all. They says, thank you for the kind words, Caesar, and I'm working on your recommendation.
Perfect.
Stealth Bomber says, just wanted to say I have loved your content, been helpful, new to the space, teacher who lost his job and needed hope for something new. I know a lot of teachers that switched over to voice acting and have excelled
Yes,
quite a bit.
absolutely.
Good luck to all you VO peeps too. Absolutely. I mean, stick with us, Stealth Bomber. This is what you want to do. I mean, especially if you're getting into audiobooks, the nonfiction side. Educator voices. That's exactly what we're doing. We're educating, right? You want to sound like you are knowledgeable, like you know what the hell you're talking about. Teachers do well in this space.
They absolutely do. And some of the PFH rates for educational books out there are very, very nice indeed.
Well, the interference she was experiencing, it could be LED lights.
It could be. I did mention that, didn't I? I think.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, shielded cable, absolutely. It'll save you a lot of grief down the line.
Or try recording with them off and see if anything changes.
Mm-hmm.
Caesar hasn't had a fit. Rebecca.
I told her to get all the expensive cables. Sorry, Rebecca.
All right, I'm trying to find questions. Eric says, when I started out, if my phone or tablet was too close to my interface, it would cause an interference. That's not been an issue. The interface Caesar has had me upgrade to.
I make people spend money.
Mm-hmm. And I used to find that there would be interference from, God, Angela, interference from my cell phone, but not in this space. And not where I've got it now, but it is that could also be something that's a factor. Cell phones. See, Jewel says on it, just found out I have to get a new car. So slight pause while it's being built. Of course you're having one built. Of course you are. It's going to be something fast and loud. I love Jules. Sage says, Caesar posted in the Discord an episode where a female VO tested a handful of mics. I don't remember who it was.
She is Bailey Pelkman. She is the wife of Randy Rector, who's I believe he's a music producer. And his wife, Bailey Pelkman, is a voice actor. And she does commercial stuff.
Was it a video from YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about the only one I've ever found, actually.
Lisa says, 5K on soundproofing. Now I'm happy I live in the middle of nowhere, Alberta. It's Arctic cold here, but super, super quiet in the country. I bet it is.
Beautiful place, yeah. I have family in Alberta. But I believe they're now in Edmonton, I think. Oh, wait, hold on a second. That is in Alberta. Yeah, never mind.
It's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning for you. No one's holding anything against you.
Fine.
I think that's it for comments. I mean, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we go?
I would like to 100% endorse, VO's journey. I love the fact that I'm part of a community that's very supportive. And I love being in a community where I can also be supportive back.
Mm-hmm.
So please join us there.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
It is your destiny.
I would say one of the best parts of Launchpad is that we can have Caesar unfiltered.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Kind of fun like that.
every half hour, 20 minutes, there's no Caesar. Caesar has been on his best behavior today. So if you'd like to see Caesar unfiltered, I mean, Launchpad is great. We learn a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's not just a bunch of shenanigans.
Of course.
Each session is gamified, so we try to make it fun, but we do learn, we do get the work done, but we also bring adult beverages in most cases, and, we dress up on occasion and do things. We have a lot of fun. So come and join us in Launchpad. We do each have our own no Caesar sign, and we're not kidding.
Rebecca's right.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Caesar, thank you so much for joining today. And I'm sorry with the coughing and the light and the oh my God, it's been just an absolute mess for me today. But thank you for joining me and sort of righting this ship anyway.
Well, thank you for having me. It was an absolute privilege.
Absolutely. I'm glad you came. And we are going to continue to do this. I want to bring in other members from Launchpad because everybody's got a different story and journey and how they got to where they are. And I think it's so very interesting. And a lot of us have other, tidbits or areas of expertise and skill sets that we can, help other voice actors get to where they want to be as well. And I'm rambling, but this is going to continue on with other members. So stay tuned for that. But thank you all for joining today. And this was fantastic. I'm so glad Caesar was able to come on. And again, I'm rambling, but we will be back next week, Tuesday.
Perfect.
And hopefully I'll have somebody else then.
Yep.
Any Hoosiers. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you guys the next time. Bye.
Right.
Thank you, Caesar. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to She Lancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.